What is up, Spidey fans? Welcome back to the channel for a practical, swinging, news-filled Spider-Man Brand New Day related video. Daniel RPK on Twitter, who's an industry insider who puts out often scoops on comic book related movies and popular franchises. And from what I've heard from friends, he's a fairly reliable source when it comes to scoops and new information that isn't explicitly shared on verified news sources. But anyways, Daniel actually shared that Brand New Day will have a darker tone similar to that of Kraven's Last Hunt. And for those of you who have read that comic issue and comic run, you'll know that that is one of the darkest Spider-Man stories that's out there. And that storyline really delves into the themes of death. And Kraven actually thinks he kills Spider-Man and buries him in an actual grave. And then when Spider-Man's perseverance shows that he didn't actually kill him and he even comes back, despite being traumatized, he still confronts Kraven again, and that ultimately pushes Kraven into actually killing himself. And if this movie is being compared to Kraven's Last Hunt, then that just makes me really feel like the theme of death is going to play a big role in Brand New Day. Despite it being a brand new day, it's going to be quite the dark Brand New Day. And I'm all for it because I love the happy-go-lucky, fun Spider-Man stories, but the dark ones really hit very hard, and Destin Daniel Cretton is known for invoking a lot of emotion in his films. So to see this being put to screen and we get an even darker Spider-Man storyline than some of the movies that we've seen in the past, I'm all for it. Next, Daniel says that the Punisher is still his usual murderous psychopath self, but will have weaponry to deal with threats like Spider-Man and the Hulk. Now, this bit definitely offers me and some fans who were concerned about the Punisher being in this movie, it gives us a little bit of reassurance because Spider-Man Brand New Day is rumored to be a PG-13 movie, but a hard PG-13. And when fans heard about this, myself included, we were a little bit worried because you can't play down and nerf a character like the Punisher. And John Bernthal just wouldn't have any of that. He wouldn't have signed on to this project if that was the case. So despite this movie not being a rated R film, it's definitely going to push the envelope on that PG-13 rating, and as it should. It's got frickin' John Bernthal as Frank Castle. What I'm curious to know is what kind of weaponry he's going to have to deal with the likes of Spider-Man and Hulk. And on the topic of Punisher, my buddy RJ from the Peter and Miles podcast, shout out to the podcast, go check it out if you haven't already, it's great stuff. RJ actually sent me a very great theory because we're all wondering who's going to be the main villain of this film, and that may in fact have already been revealed, as this theory suggests that Scorpion is the main villain of this film, but the main antagonist will be the Punisher, and that Frank is going to wage a war on all criminals in New York City, including Peter's rogues gallery. And Peter, who is against killing, is going to be forced to help out the villains he's been fighting as he tries to stop Frank, who's the ultimate threat. The character of Frank Castle as the Punisher has always been a character that's more of like an anti-hero, and I could really see this being the case because Frank is relentless. He's always out for blood, despite whether his intentions are good or bad. And that could really be a twist that fans were not expecting going into Brand New Day. Because given his team-ups with Daredevil in Daredevil Born Again and the previous Netflix series, a lot of fans are probably guessing that Spider-Man and Frank are going to be teaming up to go against these villains, but that very well may not be the case given this theory, and I actually like it because it's a good change of pace. This actually leads me into the next claim from Daniel RPK, and that is that Scorpion will have a prominent role, but is not the main villain. And this actually, in a way, could actually support the theory that I just mentioned. Scorpion may be a very viable threat and a big villain in this movie, but he may not be the main villain, as the main quote-unquote villain could be the Punisher. And the last claim by Daniel RPK is that Zendaya is only in Glasgow to support Tom Holland and won't be filming her actual scenes there. She does have an important role in the film, but won't have a substantial amount of screen time. This is a very interesting choice of words, and at first I kind of thought they contradicted each other a little bit, but if I were to guess like a character appearance in a Spider-Man movie that would maybe compare to this, it would maybe be Tony Stark's appearance in Spider-Man Homecoming. He didn't have a massive amount of screen time, but he did have a substantial role in helping Tom Holland grow as a superhero. We obviously don't know the finer details of the context of Zendaya's role in this movie, but I definitely think we're going to start seeing the gears turning on her eventually remembering that Peter Parker is Spider-Man and her relationship with Peter Parker and all that they've gone through within the past few movies. That's obviously going to happen because they wouldn't just go through the rest of Tom Holland's run as Spider-Man without him being eventually coming back to being with the love of his life in MJ. I'm not really sure how we'll get there. I don't think she's going to actually fully on remember in Spider-Man Brand New Day, but I definitely think we're going to get some teases that she is going to be remembering in maybe the 5th or the 6th film. Now, that's all when it comes to Daniel RPK's updates for this movie, but we certainly got a little bit more to talk about when it comes to what was seen on set. First of all, on the set for the Punisher special, that was announced to be wrapped filming, and we got an exclusive look at Frank's new suit for that special, and it's supposed to be taking place like shortly before the events of Brand New Day. So is Frank gonna have this suit? Most likely. They just got to give him the white boots and the white gloves, and then I will think it's great. They finally started filming some swinging scenes for Brand New Day, and I love it because I'm really just a massive fan of practical effects. Like, there ain't going to be much CGI here. Of course, there's going to be at least a little bit, but it's actually going to be Tom and or his stunt double actually doing the grunt work of swinging from the wires for a lot of the swinging scenes, and I cannot wait because that is exactly what they did for the Amazing Spider-Man movies. As much as I hate them, I do love the swinging scenes in those movies, so to see that they're doing the similar, if not the dang near same thing for the swinging scenes for those movies into this one, I could not be more hyped, and the web swinging is going to be peak, just like this movie's going to be as well. Like, heck, there's even one video that was floating around on Twitter with an explosion in the background of Tom or his stunt double swinging, and that looks like a scene in and of itself. Like, without even any post-production thrown in there, that just looks... It looks legit, it looks real, and I absolutely cannot wait to even see what that looks like after they polish it up a little bit and put the finishing touches on it. And last but certainly not least, we got perhaps the hardest Spider-Man set photo of all time. You just see the crowd surrounding Peter as he's standing on top of the car, his head's down. You just got the crowd, you see them in the background and surrounding him and cheering his name. That is what you call aura right there. I hate that phrase, but it's true. And I absolutely cannot wait for what more else is to come. But guys, that's going to do it for this massive update video on all the new details that we got for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments section what was your favorite thing that you saw or you learned. Thank you all so much for watching. We just uploaded a new podcast on the Peter and Miles podcast with myself and my buddy RJ. It's all great stuff over there. We have some great laughs while talking about all the news. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya, chump.
See ya, chump.